In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to improve your running pre by giving you techniques which you can use to save yourself if you're short on a jump, which will give you more confidence to push your jump further. Most people think that the thing that holds them back the most with doing bigger jumps is their strength and technique and jumping far. But in reality, it's your ability to commit to bigger jumps, especially at height. So in this tutorial, we're going to teach you some techniques which will help you commit to bigger jump when there's more risk involved. The techniques that I'm going to go through are techniques that you would use when you physically can't make a jump to fail it in a safe and controlled way. So the level 1 is when you completely can't make a jump at all and you can't even get your feet on top of the wall. And level 1 is splat. Okay, so what a splat is when you're coming into the wall, but you don't have enough power in your jump to reach the top. So you put your feet as high as you can, and then you place them on the flat surface of the wall. So this stops you from slamming into the wall out of control because you make contact with your feet, push your body away, and land safely on your feet. To correctly do a splat, you need to come in with your foot as close to 90 degrees as you can. The more perpendicular you are to the wall, the more grip you have and more friction, and then the less chances of you slipping like this, which will result in, well, injury. So this is going to be an example of how not to splat. My main mistake with that was that my feet were at a very bad angle. Feet were at an angle like this, where all the momentum is going down and not into the wall, which causes my foot to slip like that. When you do a good splat, you want to jump your feet in the wall. Like you're pushing the wall away from you. The main objective with all these techniques is that you train them enough times that they become instinct, so that you can rely on them when you do running jumps in order to save yourself. So find yourself a nice wall like this and just drill doing a splat from slowly going further back in order to get confidence with the technique. So start very close to the wall and make sure you get a good grip, and then slowly bring it back and back. I'm safe. Level 2 is when you have enough power to kind of get your feet on the top, but you don't have enough power to land safely. So this is when you use level 2, which is craning, which looks like this. This is probably the most important technique in the whole video, because with this technique, if you are completely not going to make the jump and there's a drop where you could fall and hurt yourself, this technique teaches you to stay on the objective object. It's a bit similar to a splat, except that you only splat with one foot, which would be the foot that you swing with in your jump. So if you swing with your right leg, you should put your right foot on the flat surface of the wall. If you swing with your left leg, you just put your left leg on the flat surface of the wall. And that leg acts as the leg which absorbs the impact from the jump. So once your swinging leg has made contact with the wall, the impact is being absorbed into your leg. That's when you put your left leg or your opposite leg on top of the wall, which acts as a hook to keep you on the object. Another thing that helps a lot is that when you're on top of the wall, you put your strong hand on top of the wall. It gives you extra support and controls you. If you don't put your hand, you're going to go a bit off axis. So use your hand, it helps. The method for learning this is the same as learning how to splat. Find yourself a nice wall, maybe even the same wall you used to learn splat, and just practice the technique by slowly going further back until you're at a level where you couldn't make the jump even if you wanted to. Some people choose to put their swinging leg on the top side of the wall and the takeoff leg on the bottom. I used to do that as well, but I learned that it's not the most ideal technique. The reason for that is, if this is your impact taking leg, and you're taking the impact on the top of the wall, then your foot has the chance to slip out this way if you put it too high, because this is where all your momentum is landing. So what could happen is you're doing a big jump, you try and put your impact leg on top of the wall, and then it slips out. That happened to me once, and after that, I switched my legs, and it never happened to me since. So if it works for you, it works, but this is my advice. Okay, level 3 is when you can make it on top of the wall with 2 feet, but you don't have enough power in your jump to stay on the wall, and that's a bounce off. So I'll show you what that looks like. So this technique isn't really something that you have to learn, because it's just a natural result of not making a jump, but it is important that you have confidence in your ability to bounce off, because if you're pushing yourself to do bigger jumps, then it will naturally happen and you can't avoid it. So make sure when you're bouncing a jump that you try and absorb the impact as softly as you can, because if you bounce not well, then you also have potential to slip. It's also important that you grip the wall with a nice foot placement on your toes, on the ball of your foot, because if you land here like that, then there's a lot less friction and space to stop you from slipping. Relatively large running free, and if this was out of my comfort zone, I would just show you how I can build up to landing on top of it safely. When you're a beginner and you're learning these moves, it's quite common to get ankle thing, which is when you have pain in your ankle from flexing too hard, because your body is just not used to the impact. So it's very important to start small when learning these techniques and build up slowly, so that one, you can drill the technique, and also it gives your body time to adapt so that you can avoid injury. Thank you for watching the tutorial. If you found it useful, leave a like. If you have any questions or anything that I didn't go through in the video, put it down below, any other tutorial suggestions. And we make weekly videos, so subscribe.